Treebard is purposely designed so as to show you a person's life story. We want to see this person as a person on one glance. So we've got his father, his mother, his foster parents, adoptive parents, all his wives, children, husbands, partners, all his children, stepchildren, foster children. Everybody is going to be right here in this families table. Down here we're going to have all his events and attributes. We don't separate them. We call them all events in this table, and there's no reason to separate them. If you put a date on it, it's going to be at the top of the table, sorted by date. If you don't put a date on it, it's going to be at the bottom of the table, alphabetically by the attribute name. With the exception of birth and death, birth is always going to be at the top, even if it has a weird date on it. Death is always going to be at the bottom of the dated section of the events, above the attributes, or the so-called attributes. In other words, the undated events down here. If you have an undated event or an attribute down here and you want it up here, interfiled here by date, then you add an estimated date. So this is a default tree, Smith family tree. It has nothing in it yet except for a color scheme. By the way, this is the Python terminal that opens. I could get rid of that, but you're a developer and you want to see errors so that they will show here. First thing that we want to do is give this person a real name. So we'll go over here. We're going to change the current person name, but instead of giving them a new name, I mean, you can give them a new name right off immediately, but the first thing I want to do is change the name default person number 1 to a real name. There's one little glitch in the combo box. It's my own combo box. I created this combo box myself. There is a glitch in the combo box colorization. That's for you to fix. Hope you enjoy it. New name for the current person is, well, let's go over to the tools. Just make a person. I want to copy that part. Change name. Oh, yeah. Now, when you go to fix this combo box colorization, you might want to take a look at this. As you can tell, this combo box is colorized differently and correctly. This one is not. This is using the scroll bars right. But this is the default color scheme background, so you can fix that. That can be one of your little projects as a developer of Treebard or whatever you want to call your program. You shouldn't call it Treebard because it's what I called my program. Sort that. You can add a source to a name the same way as you add a source to an event or an attribute or a date, place, particulars, or age, or roles by clicking here. But if you want to add a source to a name, you do it here. We don't need to select a display name because there's only one name. We're changing that one name to this. Go back here, and it's changed here already. We don't know if it's a male or a female, so it doesn't do anything here, but if you double click here, you can select a gender for Miles, and then it changed to M. Back on the Names tab. In other words, I was trying to tell you earlier, you want to look at the combo box code, and why is this one colorizing right and these two are not? Okay, that's what you want to ask yourself when you go to fix this. Let's give him a second name, Ray Alonzo Linton. Let's say he had an AKA. This is a new name for the current person. AKA, also known as, alphabetized as like that, and save new names and edit checked names. Okay. And now he's got two names. You can change either one of them, and you can make either one of them the display name. Right now, Miles Boris Rubin is the display name. I can choose to make Ray the display name instead. Okay. And if I go Control F5, there you go. It's the same person, number 1. Same person. Miles Boris Rubin, Ray Alonzo Linton, same guy. If he had 20 names, they'd all be showing up here. Let's delete this name. Delete check names. We got a little trouble or what? There it is. Yes, the database is locked because there's a problem. Let's open this up again. Nothing's broken, just open it up again. There's something there for you to fix. By the way, if you want help fixing something, depending on your level of diplomacy, you may be able to get me to help you. But I am retired from the Treebard project, so there was a couple of hints in there, and if you're the kind of person that can take a hint, you might be able to get me to help you a couple of times at first while you're still learning. Really, I don't mind. Now, I'm going to open up the Pi instead of the exe. This is not advertised as a complete program or a perfect program. It is advertised as a program for you to work on and make better. Steve Dirk Lemon, let's give him a name. Make a new name for him. All right, now let's try deleting. I don't expect you to do any programming in the exe. Obviously, you use the .py version. Double click it here to open it when you're developing. The exe is only for playing around and seeing what it does or doesn't do. And I want to see if I can delete a check name. Oh, this is the Python icon. The Python icon didn't change, my routine changed. I wanted to see if there's going to be an error message. See, it works. Now, over in the exe, it did not work. Don't know why. And it might not be the exe's fault. Now, assuming that you are a developer wanting to use Treebard to create your own genealogy software, let's take a look at Notepad++, just for a second. We're going to open this up in Notepad++, and I have a macro that I made in Notepad++. When I hit this hotkey, it runs. That's what I'm used to seeing. That's what I was looking for. I got confused. See, now that here it says what we're actually doing. And I think I made a movie already about how you can run programs directly from Notepad++. This is what I like. I like to see this one because I'm used to it. I worked for a long time seeing this one. Sample tree, is there two? Yeah. Let's open this one also. I just wanted to show you you can. Now they're both down here, and now we got this little fight down here. It's partly Treebard's fault because it opens up a little too big. It should open up not quite so tall. Open the sample tree like that. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that you can have two open. This is a tree that I created by importing a GEDCOM, and it works. Okay, so yes, you are able to delete a name. Don't know why I wasn't able to before, but probably there was just an error happening that I had not noticed. Places, let's change the current place. Treebard uses autofills for places because you don't want to sit here typing Aspen, Pitkin County, Colorado, United States of America and stretch out to here. And you know, you can use abbreviations or not. It's up to you. Or you can create a second name for the place. USA, United States of America. You can create as many names for the place as you want. Change current place to parachute. I typed a P, that's all I typed. That's the one I wanted, so we're going to change the current place. Now the current place is parachute, and if there was a latitude, longitude for it, then that would be displayed right here. Or a description, which description is any text you want to put. The hint is normally going to be a date and time stamp for when you created that place. So if you got two places by the same name, then you're going to say, well, I created that place on that day or that day. But Treebard needs a feature where you can edit the hint to make it anything you want. It used to have one, but you can add that feature. The feature exists in the database because this is saved text, but you'd want to create a feature in the GUI right here on this page to edit that hint. Select an action in regards to a place or place name. I don't want to delete this current place, but let's create a new current place. Oh my goodness, look, let's delete this place. This is just a fake place anyway. So we'll go over to the Places tab and let's delete the current place. First we're going to make Budweiser County, New Hampshire, USA. That's a fake place I just made up one day. See, now that's the current place. Let's delete the current place. That is no longer a place in Treebard. If I type BUD, it still fills in. But if I go change current place, it won't. Oh, This is what happens when you type a place that doesn't exist. It's going to try and make a new place. Well, I don't want to make a new place called Budweiser County. Now, if you go F5 over here, Control F5, then it's going to redraw your table because Budweiser County no longer exists. Let's make a new place. Go over to the Google Maps in my head and let's go Lane County, Oregon, USA. Tab. This is what happens when you make a new place. Which Lane County? Well, there's only one, and because Lane County doesn't exist in the database, we're going to say make one. There's no Oregon in the database, we're going to say make one. But when we get to USA, there is a place named USA, and if we were using hints, then there'd be a hint here that might say, well, you know, that one that's between the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean is like under Canada and above Mexico, you know what I mean? Whatever hint you want to put here, then you put a hint there and say you got ancient Israel and a modern Israel, and you consider them two different countries. You make the hint, anything you want. One might say ancient Israel, the other one might say whatever you want to say. Okay, so we're going to choose this USA because we don't want to make a new place called USA. And this is also helpful in a case of a duplicate place name. Say you got a place called Incorrigible County. Sorry for I'm being weird, but that's who I am. You say you got two incorrigible counties. One's in New Hampshire and the other's in France. And you don't know which one to click. Well, it's going to show you both. And you're going to click the one that corresponds to the existing places by that name. So this is the USA that Aspen-Pitkin County, Colorado is in, and that Lamar County, Texas is in, and that Parachute-Garfield County, Colorado is in. Okay, and that's the one we want, so we're going to go with that. Now we're going to get our new place is going to be made correctly. If this doesn't display right, you can go Control F5, but it did display right. But let's go ahead and put a birth date for Steve Dirk Lemon. Any dates are real easy to enter in Treebard. You don't have a calendar pop up because I hate them. They're slow, intrusive. You got to clickety click, click, click. I don't like them. Okay, I think they're stupid. All right, now let's go simple. Let's say he was born on February 28th, 1875. But let's say, I don't know what order to type them in. Does it matter? No. Let's say I know he's born in 1875, and then I look back at my document again. Oh, he was born in March. Okay, well, I could say March, M-A-R. Don't say 3. 3 is not a month. We say M-A-R, M-A-R-C-H, either one, or capital M-A-R-C-H. You can do that way. It's up to you. But you can type them in any order. And let's say, well, I look in another document and say, oh, it was March 13th, so I'm going to add the 13th. You add this stuff in any order you want. And then I'm saying, well, this is based on two different sources, neither of which I know is perfect, so I'm going to say about. Now, if I was just guessing, I would normally say estimated, EST, tab out. And believe it or not, that date is in there and it's perfect. You just can't see it. Here's the situation. You go Control F5 and you see, I told you it was in there. You don't usually have to hit Control F5. I just wanted to show you a case where you would want to. And by the way, these fields are multiple line fields. If this was a really long place name, it would break here so you don't have a real long column stretched all the way across, and it would display on 2 lines. So if you input a very long place name, let's make an attempt to do that right now. If you input a very long place name, comma, space, you got to put a comma. You see, look at that. Oh my. And sometimes, maybe I fixed this, but sometimes seems like you only see the last line. Then you just use the up and down arrows because that's just because. But I don't want to call that a place, so let's not do that. Tab out. No changes were made. except to the size of that widget. You'll control F5 and you see no changes were made. All right. Do list, you can add stuff to the do list. I'll show you that sometime. Particulars, say anything you want here. This is for a short note that applies only to this event. Born in a barn, I don't care, you say anything you want. It's up to you. The age at birth is always 0. You can't change the age at birth, but you can change any other age to anything you want. This is text. You can change it to 87. You can change it to 87 years old. I don't care. I wouldn't say that, but you could. Oh, there's a case where I wanted to show you. Look. Now, you can use the up arrow and see the whole thing. It's already in the database because I tabbed out. It goes in automatically when you tab out if it's a good age. And we don't validate ages. We just display them. We just save them. You say anything you want here. Okay? F5, control F5 I mean. And it resizes the column so to fit the contents. Age and particulars, you say anything you want. We don't validate those. That's up to you what you want to say, except for birth 0. You can't delete a birth event, but you can delete any other event. Everybody has a birth automatically in Treebard. Everybody's born, and everybody's born at the age of 0. You can't change that. You can't delete the birth. But everything else, you can change the event type and everything. I can change death date to residence if I want. Autofill, by the way. Tab out and done. See, I just went control F5 to make sure it was in the database. You can do that if you want. It doesn't hurt anything. And then I could change that to occupation if I want. Let's change that to occupation. Oops, I only typed like 1 or 2 letters and boom, there she goes. It's occupation now. And I can add a date, place, etc. I already showed you how to do that. Now, what if somebody wants to get married? Well, you can make an event for them right here. You got a marriage. Don't know who he got married to, you don't have to know. Let's just say he got married. Now, Treebard needs to know, say if this couple, because I'm about to make a couple, if this couple has children, then this person is going to be displayed as a father or mother or something. But we don't know his gender. We never said he was male or anything. So you could say that we want to display him on the left. We can display him on the right. We can call him a male. We can call him a female. Just choose any one you want, okay? I'm going to say he's a male. Doesn't matter. And now it redraws, and it created a partner for him. We don't know the partner's name. Here, this is something that I used to have to do in genealogy software all the time. My dogs are getting ready to sing. You want to listen? They probably seen a cat, you know what I mean? I only got 7 dogs. Most of those are next door. They know when to stop. I don't know how, but they all stop at the same time. I was trying to say earlier, I used to have to make parents, in order to write a note about a parent, say that they was born in Pennsylvania or whatever, because in the old U.S. Census, you got a column that says where the parents were born, but it doesn't say what the parent's name was. Okay, so I used to create parents all the time with no names, and I just give them a blankety blank blank blank. You can use question marks. You can use any symbol you want. You can't use letters such as UNK or UNKNOWN for unknown. You can't use letters for an unknown name. You have to use symbols. But you choose the symbols you want, and Treebard makes it for you in the case of a couple event. You just made a marriage event, and the marriage person, the partner, is person number 434, name unknown. And there she is. If she's a girl, we don't know that. But we can switch to her, control click. There she is right there. Okay, and there's Steve, her partner. Go back to Steve, control click. All right, and I wanted to mention before I forgot to say it, Treebard does not generate information for the age field. Never. We never put stuff here for you. I'm against so-called smart software, and I'm not too happy about AI because I'm old enough to remember, when we had a black and white TV, we had a car that you could work on yourself. I remember before computers, and I liked the world that was then. I didn't know I liked it until it was gone, of course. And of course, when computers first come along, I liked them a lot, and I still find them very entertaining. But I don't go so far as to want computer programmers to make my decisions for me. We do not put calculated ages in this field. This is for you to use. And there's a good reason for it besides the fact that I don't like smarty pants software. The real reason for it is that the documents that tell people's age in the olden days, age is the least reliable data that you can find on the old documents. It's usually wrong as opposed to being usually right, because most people, they weren't very well educated, and a lot of people didn't know how old they were. And there's good old human nature to take into account. A lot of people lie about how old they are, or they've been lying about it so long they don't remember how old they actually are. What we want to do is leave this up to the genealogy software user to put what he wants here in the age field. And then I just showed you how to make a marriage event. You can add a date, place, particulars, age in the usual way. And if you want, you can give this person a name. First, you have to switch to that person. Control-click their name in the families table. There they are. You go to the Names tab. We want to change this unknown name, but before we do, let's go over here. This is the place where you designate a placeholder name for people whose names are unknown, and then Treebard will create that person automatically. That's going to be our new save placeholder name. When you make a couple event, then Treebard is going to make a person for the couple. So we're going to have a divorce here. That filled in after DI. Select a partner for the new couple event. Okay. We already know about Steve. Or do we want to make him the couple person for this new divorce? Or do we want to create a new partner with an unknown name? Let's create a new partner with an unknown name. Table redraws, and there is your new name placeholder that you designated over here in the main app settings. Now put it back the way it was because that's the way I like it. Treebard's combo box is made by me. It does things that are kind of nice. You can use your arrow keys to open the drop down. If you use the up arrow key, it's going to open the drop down, but you're going to be at the bottom of the list, which might be handy. If you happen to hit the down arrow at this point, it's going to go to the top of the list. Oh my goodness, look at that. That is handy. All right, now let's go tab into there again. This time we're going to open it by hitting the down arrow. Oh my goodness, look at that. It opened at the top of the list. Now you can arrow through. You can hit the space bar. You can use your mouse, click something. You can use tab. Immigrant is selected. You tab, and there you go. Immigrant is selected. Hit the space bar. Now it's going to go alphabetized like that. You can change it to anything you want. Create a source. I haven't shown you how to do this yet. The assertion is what the source says. This is important. And Treebard requires an assertion. If you want, you can go space, dot, whatever you want to do. If it's too obvious, then you wouldn't want to. But say you got a lot of conflicting information, you're going to want to say what each source asserted or claimed about this name. If you're on an event, you're going to want to say right here what the assertion is. What does the source say about the event or the attribute? Source that makes this assertion Superman comic book. Trying to move fairly quickly under the circumstances. The circumstance being that I'm a decrepit individual with little professor syndrome, and I love to hear the sound of my own voice explaining stuff. And I apologize for the inconvenience. I'm going to say that Superman comic book is a birth certificate as its type. You can leave this blank. You don't have to designate source types. If you do have to designate source types, that's a design flaw. You can remove that requirement by fixing the code. Citation within the source, I do believe that's required. 11. The assertion is Penguin. This is a Batman comic, but I said it wrong up there. Penguin named him Whitehead Jr. That's because the word penguin is Welsh. It means whitehead. I bet you didn't know that, did you? I clicked OK. I clicked OK twice. Nothing happened either time. Does that mean there's a problem? Probably. Nothing changed here. Close. There is a problem of some kind, but there's no error message. Assertions and sources are not working at the present time on the Names tab when you're making a name change here. This needs to be restarted. Nothing's working. Okay, we're in sample tree. We're going to change this name to John Smith. Down arrow, let's go down. Let's say it's a code name. He's 007, alphabetized as. See, works fine. Works fine. Something that about going into here and doing this caused a problem. So let's do this instead. We're going to make a source. Let's do it for the birth. And let's say it's about the date, which we haven't actually put a date in. We can, if we want, February 12, 1912. Control F5, there's an error. Restart. This has gotten so complicated that, you know, my memory's not good enough to keep up with it. But, I mean, the data went in. Now let's make an assertion about that date. How do we know we're making an assertion about this date? Because we clicked this source button in this row. Assertions can be about date, place, particulars, age, or roles. So we're going to choose from amongst those topics. We're going to say this is a date assertion. Source makes this 1820 U.S. Census. We're just saying anything here. Source type. If new source is being added, you don't have to say that because it's already in. The source is already in there. Sheet 92, enumeration district 45. The assertion is X, Y, Z. Say what the source text is, whatever you want to say there. That redrew, which is why it suddenly has something in it. Before it didn't have anything in it. It's got an asterisk on it, so if it was ages, for example, you'd see an asterisk here, and you'd know there was something. You wouldn't have to go click, click, click to find out which ones had some content. This is linked. The X means yes, it's linked to the date, this date right here. Now, you can change the surety. This is super simple to do. Just click anywhere. You click down here, you lessen the surety. You click up here, you greaten the surety. It goes from 0 to 5. And then you have to click changes to save that. And it's saved. Shouldn't jump around like that, but you're the developer. Why haven't you fixed that yet? Come on now. This is the notes dialog. The same notes dialog that you're going to see in other places. These are search. If you want to find an existing note, see, you can link an existing note to anything. Anything where there's a note field, you can link an existing note. So you don't have to go find a note, copy it, and paste it. You don't have to do that anymore, not in Treebard. So let's say it's a note about music. Search current notes for, well, there are no current notes about this event, so we're going to want to search all notes. Search all notes for music. Okay, now a different dialog opens where you can display note ID number 3, note ID number 4 with all instances of the word music automatically highlighted. And let's say we want to link this note, note ID number 6, to the assertion. Let's go click and turn this off. There's no errors. Can't tell if it worked or not. Possibly it didn't. Ah, it did work. Okay, it did work. It just didn't display immediately. So I like for Treebard to display stuff immediately, but in this case, I didn't have the patience. I didn't get that fixed yet. So that's for you to fix it. And it should also be displaying 3 dots on here to show that there is notes with content. That also didn't work yet. By the way, this expands notes. You see the plus sign, the minus sign? This expands notes. You don't want to click this. That's why it turns red. This is going to delete this whole entire note, and everything that's linked to this note is going to lose that note because the whole note's going to go away. We don't want to do that. But you can unlink this note. Selected note, you select it just by clicking it. Changes color. Unlink selected note from current assertion. Just do that. Now it's gone. Close. And notes. See, it's gone. Let's say we want to make a new note. Whatever you want it to say, you create a new note and link it to the current assertion. And there it is. Oh, see, there's the 3 dots. Works some of the time. It works in some cases, basically, is what we're saying. Now, we want to delete that note forever and ever. Amen. The note no longer exists, and the 3 dots are gone because this assertion no longer has any notes linked to it. If there's 1 or more notes linked to this assertion, then there should be 3 dots here. This is a dates assertion. If there was a places assertion, there'd be an asterisk over here, and we could go look at it. I want to tell you, what is an assertion? Why does Treebard have assertions? I've ranted about this so many times. I'm just going to keep it brief. Okay, first of all, there are people who like to keep track of absolutely everything. Assertion is going to make them feel happy because it's going to give them more stuff to fill out. But there are people who don't like to keep track of stuff that is not necessary. And the assertion is also good for them because you can leave the assertion part blank right down here. You can just make a space. Then you can always edit it later because you can see edited by double clicking, open that edit field and edit it. In fact, let me just show you that that's true. Go OK, and we just edited the assertion. So you can make a blank assertion, add stuff later if you want. But the real true purpose of the assertion, practically speaking, without going into a lot of theory, is you've got 3 sources, 6 sources, 10 sources, and they're saying multiple different things about an event or a name, about a date, about a place, about a particular, about an age, about a role. You've got different sources saying different things. Over here, this is your conclusions table. This events and attributes table, these are conclusions. These names, these are your conclusions. You, the genealogy software user, makes conclusions. You put them in here in these tables. These are conclusions. But say suddenly you find a source that contests this, and you want to say, why did I say 12th February 1912? I have no idea why. Oh, look, there's a source. I can go find out why I said that. And then you go, oh, the source said that. And then there'd be more than one source here. Oh, the other source said that, and the other source said that, and the other source said that. Okay, that is very handy, especially since Treebard won't let you make 2 birth dates because people only get born once. Treebard won't let you make 2 death dates because people only die once. You can make 2 divorces. You can make 100 marriages. You can make multiple burials. You can do anything you want multiply in here except for birth and death. And you no longer need to make multiple birth events to record conflicting information because you make one conclusion. Anything you want can be changed anytime you want, but you record multiple assertions. You say what each source said about that birth. Let's show that actually working. All right, so we're going to say the new assertion is about the date, and the source that says this is, and the assertion is blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now we have 2 assertions. I don't know why this autofill stopped working, probably because I fixed it. You know how that works. If you're a novice coder like me, you know that you think everything's working because you just solved your last problem. However, what you didn't do is you didn't go back and test over and over and over, because when you're in this process, you fix 1, you fix 2, you fix 3, you fix problem number 4, you fix problem number 5, and when you fix problem number 7, it re-breaks problem number 2. Your code is not good enough. You need to retest, and retest, which I haven't done because there's only one of me. Now, you got two sources saying different things about the date. This should say, well, he was born in February, blah, blah. This should say he's born in March of 1942. It's saying he's born in February of 1925. Okay, so the assertions are different because the sources disagree, and this is where you go to look for the basis. You say you have very little assuredness about this source, but you really like this source. Okay. You just click anywhere you want. And that's not saved until you click Save Changes. Okay, it redraws the table with the new information. And that's pretty much everything here. Some of it works, most of it works. But let's say, well, I don't want to delete this, but I kind of want to unlink this source from this event. So you unlink it, and you click Save Changes. And it's gone. But it's not completely gone. It's over here now. Okay? You can relink it. You can delete it if you want. See, now it's gone. Not there anymore. Treebard is obviously a work in progress because you haven't finished it yet. So get on the stick, brothers and sisters. You are the developer. You make your own genealogy software. Start with what Treebard is, as is. Use it for inspiration, use it for an example of what to do, use it for an example of what not to do. It's up to you. I worked on it for 6 years. It kept me happy and busy and off the streets and entertained for 6 years. And now it's for you to improve, build upon, use it as a working model, throw darts at it. It's up to you. But I really enjoyed making it. I think you will enjoy making it better, if that's what you want to do. And if that's not what you want to do, well, maybe you need to try harder, maybe you need to be more patient, or maybe you need to find yourself a different hobby. That's up to you. All right, thanks for showing up, and we'll come right back and talk at you some more about other Treebard features that do and don't work. Okay, bye.